Hi viewers, welcome to NEWSFLASH on Fides Television, your weekly source for latest news updates on significant happenings drawn from the pages of the Fides newspaper. I am Dennis Joy, your host. We'll dive straight into the news after this timeout. Stay locked with us. It's a pleasure to have you back. Now let's get to the news for this week. As race for Anambra Government House begins. In Anambra, the state will hold its governorship election on November 8th, as already announced by the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC). The process has been on since last year, and currently candidates have emerged from all interested political parties. On June 11, INEC lifted the ban on campaigns, and candidates are now expected to move into the 21 local government areas, 179 communities, and 326 political wards in the state to seek for votes. This story is continued on page 4 of the Fides newspaper. Another top story making waves on the Fides newspaper this week reads, St. Michael's Model Comprehensive Secondary School (NEMO) holds maiden Pope Leo XIV Mathematics Weekend. History was made at St. Michael's Model Comprehensive Secondary School (NEMO) in Jikoka local government area, June 6, when the school organized a first ever Pope Leo XIV Mathematics Weekend. Welcoming guests at the event, which are the team Love Maths, Love Life, the principal, Reverend Father Dennis Uchiwabuezi, who recently clinched the Anambra Man of the Year Award (AMTI 2025) as School Administrator of the Year. Giving an insight into the team, said that mathematics and life were not separate passions, but intertwined expressions of human desire to understand, create, and flourish. You can check out page 8 of the Fides newspaper for more updates of the story. Anambra philanthropist rewards immigration officer who arrested Enugu ritualist with 5 million. And on the same page, Unizik student jumps to death from 3-story buildings after consuming hard drug. Let's have a glimpse of the story. A student of Nnamdi Azikiwe University, whose name has not been ascertained, has jumped to his death from a 3-story building after allegedly consuming a hard drug. The tragic incident occurred around 8 p.m. on Thursday, June 5, at a lodge near Royal Kitchen Junction, close to the school gates in Awka, Anambra State. According to sources, the student had jumped from a 3-story building and was rushed to a nearby hospital where he was confirmed dead. These stories and more can be found on page 11 of the Fides newspaper. Meanwhile, Anambra reads Riot Act to illegal internet service providers. The Anambra State government, through the Anambra State Physical Planning Board (ANSPPB) and the Anambra State ICT Agency, has initiated a crackdown on unauthorized internet service providers operating across the state. This was contained in a statement signed by Barrister Chike Maduekwe, Executive Chairman MD ANSPPB, and Chukwuemeka Fred Agbata, CFA MD CEO, and made available to newsmen in Awka by the Public Relations Officer PRO of the Anambra ICT Agency, Angela Nwanodu. I am not desperate to become president, Obi, as Kingsmen empower less privilege for economic self-reliance. Also, Soyinka's International Essay Writing Competition, Group 6 partnership with Anambra government. Let's look into the story. The Wole Soyinka International Cultural Exchange has appealed to the Anambra State government to partner with it for the 2025 Wole Soyinka International Essay Writing Competition, slated for June 13 this year. The national coordinator of WSICE, Mrs. Linda Amadi Olowokere, made the appeal recently while presenting a speech during an award ceremony organized in Awka, the Anambra State capital, at Blossom Found College, Awka, in honor of a student who won first position in spoken words and second position in essay writing in the 2024 edition of the competition held in Nigeria and London in July last year. This year, 2025, the 16th edition will take place in Professor Soyinka's residence at Ijegba Camp, Abeokuta, on July 13th. Further details of this story can be found on page 9 of the Fides newspaper. Now let's move over to our editorial for this week. Return of open defecation in Unizik Thameside Junction, Awka. Just when it was beginning to look like open defecation at the Unizik temporary site junction in Awka had become a thing of the past, the menace has returned with what seems a vengeance. Artisans have once more taken over the space, utilizing every available space to defecate. At a point after much complaints, the authorities of the Awka Capital Territory Development Authority, akin to the calls by this paper to do something about the pollution of the Unizik temporary site junction by reaching out to appropriate authorities to checkmate the menace. Thus, for a time, people around the area breathed a sigh of relief, as well as those driving and working past it. You can head over to page 3 of the Fides newspaper for more updates on our editorial this week. And that brings us to the end of this week's episode of NEWSFLASH. We appreciate your viewership. Kindly follow us on all our social media handles for more news updates and get a copy of the Fides newspaper this week for your reading pleasure. I am Dennis Joy signing off and wishing you a lovely evening.